What's up everyone, John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here, and you get a hatted version of me today because I have crazy hair. So for those of you sick of Apple news the past week, today has been a very good day. It was Microsoft's turn to take the media stage with their Time to Share event. If you see me look down, it's because I got some notes in front of me. This keynote just ended. There were a lot of rumors swirling about what Microsoft was going to announce. Perhaps it was going to be its dual tablet courier, but in the past days we sort of had rumors leak out that it was going to be new phones dubbed Project Pink, which is an internal code name that they've been using at the Redmond campus, and that was exactly what we got. A little while ago, Microsoft acquired Danger, the company that was behind the Sidekick. Sidekick was made by Sharp, but Danger sort of designed the software. This is sort of the first fruit of that labor. So the two handsets that were previously called the Turtle and the Pure, you may have seen them in posts on Techno Buffalo or other sites, have now been officially announced and have been dubbed Kin 1 and Kin 2, which immediately made me think of Dr. Seuss's Thing 1 and Thing 2. But these are not mischievous little creatures, these are actually pretty handy social networking phones. Let's go ahead and get started and talk about what they do. Let's start with the smaller Kin 1, previously called the Turtle. Essentially is a square slider phone with rounded edges. The keyboard slides out from the bottom. It's got a QVGA screen, it's got 4 gigabytes of internal storage, and a 5 megapixel camera with LED flash. And I'm going to talk about the UIs of both of these phones in just a minute. The next phone, Kin 2, is sort of the big daddy of them all with a more traditional QWERTY form factor, a side slider so it goes into landscape and the keyboard's down below it. This one has an HVGA resolution. It's got an 8 megapixel camera and double the storage at 8 gigabytes. Both have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, both have multi-touch, including in the browser, which does at first blush appear to be based on the Zoom browser, which is fantastic. The Zoom browser is quite good. So you'll be able to get your pinch and zoom on a Microsoft device. People are very happy about. It does have all of your content stored online. I'll talk about that in just a minute. It does not have flash, and it does use a capacitive touchscreen. So let's talk about sort of the big things about these Kin handsets, because right off the bat, specs-wise, sort of average impressive. They announced something called Kin Studio first. Essentially why they're saying the 8 gigabytes and the 4 gigabytes of storage in the handsets aren't a big deal, because Kin Studio essentially takes your entire phone and puts it online. So in this Kin Studio, which I believe is probably based on Microsoft Silverlight's technology, you now get access to all of your content online, all your pictures, all your videos, all your contacts, email, pretty much anything you can get on your phone, you get access to in this new Kin Studio, which is actually really cool. We started seeing these features a little bit in bits and pieces. Apple's done it with Mobile Me, Microsoft has sort of done it in the past, Nokia has a little bit of ways of doing it. This is really the first time we've seen all of your content brought online, not just limited to contacts or pictures, but really everything you have on your device, which is really cool. That is called Kin Studio. The operating system as a whole is called Kin Loop. And it appears to be based on Windows Phone 7, which is quite nice that it's not based on the older legacy 6.5, whatever, series of phones, which has been a bit of an unimpressive user interface. So what this sort of Kin Loop does, it's got a home screen similar to Windows 7. It almost has static tiles, but the tiles are actually dynamic. It's weird to have static tiles that are dynamic. But essentially, instead of showing you information, they show you your friends. These phones, and both of them, are very based and heavy on the social networking site. You can see what all your friends are doing, what they're up to. You can get pictures, representation. It's very similar, I'd say, to even Motorola's MotoBlur that we've seen on a ton of Motorola-branded handsets. This is a more integrated and tightly wound interface. It looks to be very smooth. Scrolling is very smooth. Flick scrolling is certainly there. And this sort of Kin Loop is highlighted by what's being called the Kin Spot. And that's sort of an omnipresent green dot that's always at the bottom of your phone. And it's sort of like a monster inbox, or monster outbox rather. Essentially what you do is you want to send a message to someone, you take their picture, you take their name, you drag it to that Kin Spot, take whatever content you want to send them, whether it's pictures, video, or whatever, you drag it to that Kin Spot, and automatically pulls up the message with the attachment and the people you want to send it to. It's a lot easier way to send multiple messages to a lot of people. You can pick anything you want. You can pick a search that you've done, a Twitter post, a Facebook post, a picture you've taken, video you've taken. Really anything you can do on the phone you can send using this Kin Spot, which is really sort of a neat addition. It's going to be coming to Verizon in the US in May, and for those of you in Europe, on Vodafone in the fall. It does look to be a very nice integrated experience, clearly geared at the social networking crowd, probably the 15 to probably 20-ish range, the ones that are very tech savvy and really into technology. It's very nice to see Microsoft continue to innovate. However, you have to wonder about their market cannibalization. Microsoft loves to fragment their product line. You look at Windows 7 or even Windows Vista, Home Premium, Basic, Starter, Ultimate. I mean, all different varieties, and they're sort of doing that same thing with the phone platform. So you've got Windows Phone 7, which has a lot of social media features built into it. We've seen those tiles, we've seen the pictures, and now, which is probably geared to business and prosumers, now you've got these kin devices, which are geared towards a younger audience. So there may be a bit of confusion to say, okay, which direction do I want to go? And Microsoft probably doesn't care as long as you stay within Microsoft. But there are going to be a lot of other options there. As far as putting the kin, say, up against a motable phone, it looks like the kin is going to do a decent amount more. However, I should mention these kin platforms have no sort of app store. So if you're really big into applications and you've been using the Android Marketplace or Palm's app catalog or Apple's app store, you're going to be a bit disappointed. You're going to be limited to what Microsoft gives you. Now, that's not to say they might not open up an app store in the future. If this is indeed based on Windows Phone 7, perhaps you'll get access eventually to all the Phone 7 apps that will be coming out. But right now, you get nothing. So you're really limited to the experience that really Microsoft hands you. So whether that's a downside or you don't care, that's something for you to have to weigh. Overall, I'm pretty excited to get my hands on these devices and check them out. I'm a big fan of any device that sort of brings something new to the table, and this brings a very new UI. The Spot and the Loop and even the Studio, which sort of brings everything online, are very cool innovations. Certainly I hope that it's going to force the competition and force the other developers to sort of integrate similar features into their phone. It's nice to see multi-touch, it's nice to see a capacitive screen. Hopefully resistive screens are on their way out. Just a little bit of a better technology. Although if you prefer a stylus, you're not going to be so happy. So guys, what do you think about these kin handsets? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you gonna line up at the Verizon store? Or do you want to sort of wait and see what comes out between now and May? Which, there could be a few decent announcements. So guys, anyway, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo with the Time to Share events recap. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.